Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today, this Friday, June 14th. And we're going to start with our first story today, which involves a group of teenagers who were caught on CCTV vandalizing the Stoner area cannabis shop in Satahip. Now, this is an escalation of their attacks over several days. Now, initially, they threatened the shop with baseball bats, but no damage was done. On June 11th, two helmeted men caused significant damage using a machete and a soda bottle. The shop owner, Kun Sakta, and his friends tried to chase them but were scared off by what they sounded like gunfire. Sakta, baffled by the attacks, urged the police to act swiftly. Authorities are reviewing CCTV footage to identify the culprits. Yeah, very strange random act of vandalism, right? Like these guys just sort of came into the shop and started destroying things. Now, it might have something to do with the fact that cannabis has become a very controversial social issue here in Thailand. So this just might be somebody who's, a vigilante for what they believe in is a cause. Obviously, the cannabis shop owners are just minding their own business, trying to go about their day when all of a sudden teenagers come in with baseball bats, start smashing up the place. Pretty not chill. Maybe they could use a smoke. Wait, they're teenagers. That's illegal. Don't do that. But still, yeah. Violence, random acts of violence are just, it's scary. Like, you're just minding your own business and people come in and start bashing things up. I don't know what I would do, but hopefully the police can identify the culprits. They were masked, so it might be difficult, but at least get some beefed up security so that they'll be discouraged in the future. Anyways, let's move on to our next story, which also involves another bit of anger. Now, a road rage incident in Thailand was defused by two pit bull-like dogs, as captured in a viral video. Now, the confrontation began when one truck driver cut off another, leading to an aggressive confrontation. Now, as the aggressor approached the second truck, the dogs emerged, barking ferociously and causing him to retreat. The video, widely shared on social media, shows the entire sequence and has been praised for the dog's timely intervention. Viewers have discussed how the situation could have escalated without the dog's involvement, highlighting the unexpected ways road rage can be diffused. Yeah, usually, especially when I hear or see pit bull-like dog or pit bull breed in the news, it's not good news, so I'm happy to report some. You know, dogs are pretty much dogs. Obviously, some breeds are a little more aggressive than others, but in this case, that aggression came to save the day. Put the guy back in his car. You never know, man. I always tell people get angry on the roads. Accidents happen, right? People make mistakes on the roads. And then all of a sudden you're boiling with anger because somebody else's mistake made you stressed to the point where you thought, uh-oh, maybe I'm going to die. Maybe I'm going to hit them, something like that. But then it doesn't end there, right? When people get out of the car, they start throwing fists, heads can hit the pavement, and who knows who's packing heat these days. So better to de-escalate every single time. I'm glad these dogs knew better than the drivers. All right, now on to our next story. So a Thai woman has used TikTok to warn others about her experience with a Bolt ride-hailing driver who assaulted her over a fare dispute. Now, after arriving at her destination, the driver demanded more than the 66 baht fare shown in the app and attacked her when she refused to pay extra. The incident, which was captured on CCTV and shared on TikTok, shows the woman, and she was hospitalized and filed a complaint. The attacker has been apprehended, though his identity remains undisclosed. The incident has sparked outrage online, with many criticizing Bolt for inadequate background checks on drivers and highlighting previous similar incidents. You know, the whole point of using these apps is that there's an agreed-upon fare before we enter the situation. So, like, even when you take an alternate route or you go somewhere that takes a little bit longer, the app accounts for that. And obviously, you're going to pay whatever is the number on the screen. That being said, yeah, it does seem like there are different vetting processes for different ride-sharing apps, like Grab and Bolt have a different, I don't know, I would say a caliber of services. Obviously, one is cheaper than the other. I'm not going to endorse one over the other because obviously this is just a bad apple. I imagine most of us are still going to be using Bolt and Grab after reporting this incident. But yeah, who knows? Alpha Bravo says in here, aggression from amphetamines and yaba pills. This is a big deal for the delivery service industry, the taxi driving industry, anybody that needs to be moving around all day. Yeah, yaba is a major factor in that community. So yeah, it can also lead to heightened aggression, right? And instigating more and more fights, and also overly confident, right? Believing you are correct when you are clearly in the wrong. Now, the woman was hospitalized. I think she's fine. The man has been apprehended. But really, the question is, what is the role of Bolt in hiring these drivers, and what responsibility do they have in ensuring the safety of their customers? I'll leave that to you to decide. Now, yeah, Alpha says, wish it would have never been invented. Yeah, man, I don't know. Drugs are bad, okay? Definitely, moderation is the key. And a lot of these guys, man, get addicted and never find a way to get off. So, again, in my opinion, I say this all the time. I would love to see a better infrastructure for, drug addiction, rehabilitation, and, of course, mental health, so that flare-ups like this don't happen and make the news. All right, on to our next story. Everybody loves the king of fruit, but sometimes there can be some controversy. Now, a durian shop plans to sue a customer despite their apology for falsely accusing the shop of fraud in a viral TikTok post. Now, the customer initially claimed they were cheated, prompting widespread attention and damaging the shop's reputation. The shop owner clarified that the incident was a misunderstanding and the full amount of durian had been provided. Although the customer apologized, admitting their mistake, the shop owner insists on legal action due to the significant harm caused to their reputation. We have yet to see what the resolution will be, however. So, yeah, Thailand takes this stuff very seriously, right? Especially when tourism is such a big deal. Google Maps reviews online are going to affect whether people come to your store or not. And durian truly is the king of fruit in Asia. Thailand has a massive booming durian market, and yeah, one hit to your reputation, a viral TikTok video, is going to scare away tons of customers. So the shop owner initially accepted the apology. However, she's insisting on pursuing legal action because, yeah, she's seen a real hit to her business. So yeah, you got to be careful. I always say this. This is like, don't talk shit, you know what I mean? Don't talk smack. Like going out and putting out a viral TikTok, right? Rather than confronting the shop owner themselves and trying to get to the bottom of this before going on a reputation shredding bender on social media is probably the way to go. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for the guy who he tarnished her reputation wrongly. Now, he did apologize, but, he has to because Thailand has very strict anti-defamation laws. So she does have legal recourse in the land of smiles, and it does appear that she is going to be pursuing it. So be careful when you're out there leaving your negative reviews, people, and make sure that whatever you're leaving is honest because, yeah, you could face legal ramifications. Yeah, I don't know. How do you guys do? Anybody ever leave negative reviews in Thailand? I don't think I will ever do it. I'm a little too afraid of the potential consequences if anything is wrong in what I've said. So always be careful. It's important to, let people know what your experience was. But obviously, people in Thailand generally want you to have a good experience. So yeah, just make sure you're doing right by them and they'll do right by you. All right, now let's. Hey, Adrian. All right, Scott, you get your. I can't do Stallone, Scotty D. All right, I'm trying to get there. Let me do that after the show. I still have a couple of serious stories, but lighthearted still at the same time. Now, it is Pride Month. And obviously, Thailand and the Land of Smiles has become a major symbol in that movement. Recently, many diplomats from around the world have come to celebrate that fact. Now, the European Union delegation, alongside the embassies of Australia and the United Kingdom and the United States, hosted a reception celebrating Pride Month at the U.S. Chief of Missions residence in Bangkok. The event, themed Pride Rights Thrive, attracted over 200 guests, including diplomats, government officials, LGBTQI+ activists, and advocates. U.S. Ambassador Robert Godek, EU Ambassador David Daly, and UK Ambassador Mark Gooding, along with Australia's ambassadors, highlighted the importance of LGBTQI+ rights as human rights and praised Thailand's progress towards equality. The evening featured speeches, performances, and networking, underscoring the international commitment to the LGBTQIA+ inclusivity, and human rights. Hey man, gay rights are human rights. That's what I always say. I've been on this bandwagon since, I think I've been out at protests since like 2004 or something like this. And seeing the dominoes fall in America on a statewide level, then seeing it go national over there, it's just a point of pride for me. I'm just cis, white, heterosexual male, but I like to think of myself as an ally. And this month is all about the community that has seen so much progress over the past 20 years internationally and especially here in Thailand. So it's lovely to see so many different international delegations coming together to celebrate that fact. And yeah, happy Pride Month, everybody. Now, our last story today for Thailand, I still have two more for you from ASEAN later, guys, has to do with the very popular HBO, The White Lotus. Now, as the filming of Season 3 of The White Lotus wraps up at luxurious Thai resorts, hotels and tour operators are preparing for a surge in tourism. Previous seasons, filmed in Hawaii and Sicily, led to a spike in visitors in those locations. Anticipating a similar effect, bookings to Thailand have already surged, with resorts like Four Seasons Koh Samui and Anantara Mai Khao seeing increased demand and higher prices. The Tourism Authority of Thailand has noted heightened interest in key destinations like Koh Samui, Phuket, and Bangkok. However, Koh Samui faces challenges with waste management and water shortages. Local leaders are urged to improve infrastructure to handle the expected tourist influx. Come on, baby. This was the plan all along, right? Thailand made a big push in a bid to get White Lotus to film its production here in Thailand. That succeeded. Filming has wrapped, and now when the season comes out, obviously, you know, it's already a buzz in the news. People are already heightening their interest in these locations. And when it hits the screens at home on HBO, everybody's going to know what Thailand looks like, and everybody's going to want to come and see it for themselves. So, yeah, brace yourselves. Phuket, Koh Samui, Bangkok. I mean, come on, we're always busy as hell up here anyways, but there could be an influx of tons of HBO-loving fans coming to check out where those beautiful locations and vistas were. Yeah, any White Lotus fans in the house, by the way? Let us know if you're going to be watching the new season in the comments, please. All right, guys, that'll do it for our news stories from Thailand. Now, I do have a couple of extra stories for you from the ASEAN region. Now, our first story is going to take us over to Indonesia, where an Australian man, Troy Andrew Smith, went on trial in Bali for possessing methamphetamine. Now, Smith, arrested on April 30th after police found 3.15 grams of crystal meth in his hotel room, faces up to 12 years in prison. Initially charged with drug trafficking, which carries a possible death penalty, Smith's charge was reduced to drug use after assessments confirmed he was a user and not a dealer. Prosecutors recommended a psychological evaluation and 6 months of rehabilitation. Smith confessed to using drugs since 2020 to quit alcohol. Now, his lawyer aims to prove he has no ties to drug trafficking, and the trial resumes on June 20th. Truly a scary situation, man. Like, in my mind, Indonesia, Singapore, many of these countries have very draconian drug laws, right? Like 3 grams of methamphetamine, 12-year punishment it could carry. And Indonesia does not care. There was a case several years ago about some men who did traffic drugs into Indonesia from Australia. However, they were given the death penalty. And it caused a big diplomatic row with Australia because that nation does not use the death penalty. They sent a specific, they said, you know, life in jail, throw whatever punishment you want at them, please do not execute them. Indonesia ignored it, causing a diplomatic row, and ended up executing those 2 men in I think 2016, 15, something like that. I don't remember exactly the year, but the point is, if you are a user of any kind of illicit substance, do not do it in those countries. The risk is far greater than the reward, and they take those crimes very, very seriously. Okay? Be careful. We'll see what happens with this guy. His trial goes on June 20th, and again, each time this happens, becomes a big incident. Aussies, believe it or not, pretty big partiers, and they go to Bali all the time. So this is not a unique case, and I'm sure it's not the last time we'll be hearing of something like this. So be careful, everybody. Now, finally, Bali 9. Thank you, Ikbins. That's exactly who I was thinking of. It was the Bali 9, right? Big diplomatic incident between Australia and Indonesia, especially because Bali seems to be half Australian most of the time. So there's so many travelers going up there from down under. And yeah, I don't know. You would think that they would try their best to make sure that that money and traffic keeps flowing. But obviously drugs, Indonesia is not messing around. All right. Now, anyways, our last story today is a bit of a Pan-Asian thing. So Thailand is edging closer to launching a train service from Bangkok to Beijing, with a trial run between Bangkok and Vientiane set for July 13th to the 14th. Now, once operational, this new rail link will enhance connectivity between Thailand, Laos, and China. The journey from Bangkok to Beijing, covering approximately 3,200 kilometers, will take almost a full day compared to a 5-hour nonstop flight. Now, currently, a high-speed train between China and Laos facilitates faster freight transport. Improved rail links aim to boost Thailand's economic growth and strengthen trade and tourism ties with China. Now, by 2028, a high-speed rail system will further connect Thailand to China through Laos. High-speed rail, baby. I'm all about it. Like, when I lived in China, I stopped taking flights, man. First of all, flights in China, you're almost always delayed, so you're spending tons of extra time in the airport anyways. When you're taking the high-speed railways, you show up, those trains are running on time every time, and they go fast. And my God, it's just a nicer way to travel, all right? You got more space. You can actually look out and see plenty of beautiful views and vistas along the way. And, yeah, it's fast, man. I think I did, Guangzhou to Beijing. You can do in, like, 8 hours or something like that. I would take, and that's what's beautiful. One of the great things about China, they have a massive sprawling network that does connect the nation on high-speed rail. Thailand's been talking about it for a while. A little bit more difficult here with the kind of terrain that we're dealing with in Thailand, I think. But it does sound like this connective rail link between the three countries is going to lead to a lot of flow of goods and services and people. So, yeah, highly recommended, guys. The slow trains, obviously, that takes a little too long. But if you have the opportunity to take any of the high-speed rails in Asia, I highly recommend it. I don't think you'll find a better way to travel. All right, guys. Well, anyways, that'll do it from for our updates from around the land of smiles and ASEAN. You can always go to thethaiger.com to catch more news updates throughout the day. I also do encourage you to go to ASEAN Now and join the forums over there in order to see what people are saying about what's going on here. There's always so much activity on those forums, and believe me, a lot of funny people. Right? Everybody's a fun keyboard warrior over there, but nobody really takes things too seriously. So I think it's a good place to hang out. Encourage you to go there too. All right, guys, that'll do it for today. Let me check the comments and see what everybody is saying.